What's happening, guys? Ed from TechSource. So Intel just announced their new 9th generation CPUs, which go on sale this October 19th. And obviously with every new CPU launch comes new motherboards, the Z390 chipset. I do have a few motherboards from MSI that we're going to be unboxing and taking a closer look at, as well as the MSI DUKE RTX 2080 Ti, which you can expect in an upcoming build. So yeah, with that said, let's take a closer look. If you guys want to find the best deals on tech, make sure to check out dealsource.tech. We have a team of ambassadors constantly searching the internet and uploading the best deals multiple times a day across the US, UK, Canada, and even Germany. Anything from PC parts to TVs, even Windows CD keys, you will find them all on dealsource.tech. Check out the link below if you're interested. So here's a full list of the CPUs that are launching, with the 9900K being on the top. It's an 8-core, 16-thread CPU that comes out of the box with a 5 GHz turbo clock on 2 cores. They also have slightly higher L3 cache, 60 megabytes on the 9900K 8-core compared to only 12 megabytes from the 8700K 6-core. So aside from the obvious speed bump coming from the 8th generation CPUs, what you guys can expect on the newer 9th gen chips is better thermals and better overclocking headroom. The reason for this is that Intel now solders the IHS directly to the core. They're calling it STIM, also known as Solder Thermal Interface Material. In addition to being compatible with the new Z390 chipset, you can also use the 9th generation CPUs with any other Intel 300 series chipset. Now, one of the main differences jumping to the new Z390 platform is that now you get native USB 3.1 Gen 2 support, so chipset PCIe lanes won't be wasted on secondary controllers anymore. Also, Intel promises wireless AC and next-gen wireless connectivity, which includes gigabit speed, and you can expect to see support for those on the new Z390 boards as well. So I got 3 boards from MSI that we're going to unbox and check out, starting with the MEG Z390 Godlike, which is currently MSI's most expensive Z390 board. So let me put these aside and take a look at this baby. So the Godlike is obviously for the enthusiasts out there who want all the bells and whistles in a motherboard and they don't mind paying extra for it. I think this currently retails for around $600, and the price might go down as more Z390 boards are available in the market. Alright, so these are all accessories that come with the board, including an expansion card for M.2 SSDs and a streaming boost card, which is essentially a capture card for streamers. Alright, let's take a closer look at this beast. This is a hefty board. Wow. It's not a bad looking board. I do love the neutral color scheme, and I'm noticing that most manufacturers are taking this approach, which makes sense. Give us a neutral color like this on a motherboard with RGB, so that way we can be in control and decide what to go with. That way it matches our color scheme. So props to MSI for finally going with a neutral color scheme. So the extended heatsink design is nice. It's got pretty good coverage for the VRMs. I'm actually curious to see how hot they get. The X299 platform from MSI was notorious for having extremely hot VRMs. In fact, the PC I'm using has an X299 Gaming Plus motherboard, and right now the VRMs are hitting 100 degrees Celsius on my 18-core CPU, the 7980XE, which is delidded and overclocked to 4.7 gigahertz. It is extremely hot, so I'm curious to see how the temps do on the new Z390 chipset. Now, MSI does claim that the 26% bigger design will bring 8 to 10 degrees Celsius cooler temps, but we will see if that's even true. So the board has 4 PCI slots, so you can do 2-way SLI or 4-way crossfire. It's got 4 DIMM slots, I think up to 4,600 megahertz, which is ridiculous. And you also got support for 3 M.2s over here. And you have an additional 2 M.2 slots if you guys use the expansion card. It also looks like they kind of redesigned their M.2 shield. They're calling it the Shield Frozer this time. And the big difference coming from their previous boards, which honestly didn't do much to thermals, is that now they're doing thermal pads on the top and the bottom. So it's going to be sandwiching the SSD. And they're claiming it's going to keep thermals low and prevent the SSD from throttling. I love that this board comes with 2 8-pin EPS power connectors for the CPU and additional 6-pin for the PCI slots. It's also got a 16 power phase design. Needless to say, overclocking should be very stable and easy on this board. I do like the steel armor around the PCI slots, which will protect it from getting damaged over time. Believe it or not, I have seen heavy GPUs bend the PCI slot over time, so this is a really nice addition. Now, when it comes to connectivity on this board, you will not be disappointed. First of all, I want to point out that I love the built-in I/O shield. It's always annoying when I'm installing an I/O shield every time I build a PC. It might not bother a lot of people out there, but it bothers me, guys. You might think I'm crazy, but having an I/O shield already built in the motherboard makes my life so much easier. Just the little things that make me really happy. Anyways, back here you'll find 5 USB 3.1 ports, a single USB Type-C. You get 2 Ethernet ports with built-in wireless AC, which can be extended via the antenna. You also get an optical out for audio, and something that I haven't seen before on the motherboard, a 6.3mm headphone jack. Usually professional headphones that I use to monitor audio use this type of jack, but if you guys are using a regular headphone or a gaming headset with a 3.5mm jack, then you can actually use the adapter that's included with the motherboard. Now for the front panel. You not only get 2 USB 3 connectors, but also 2 USB Type-C ports as well. Once again, if you're buying this board, you're obviously building a high-end PC in a premium tower, probably with multiple Type-C ports. Actually, I would even say this is a waste of money if you're not going to even water cool your PC. This motherboard is perfect for a water cooled build. It has a ton of fan headers. You get a dedicated pump header up top alongside 5 fan headers, and you get 4 more across the board for a total of 10. There is one cool thing I like about the motherboard, and it's the LCD display right here on the side. So this will basically light up and give you useful information about the board. For example, if there's something wrong with a specific part, it will show an icon and it will tell you which part it is. For example, you can see here it says CPU. Obviously, I don't have a CPU installed, so there's something wrong with the CPU and I should probably go and check that out. It just makes it that much easier to read and understand. That way you can diagnose your PC and figure out what the actual issue is instead of looking up some codes and then trying to figure out what those codes mean. So I think that's really cool. You can even customize the display to show hardware information, so like temperatures of your PC, and the coolest thing I think is that you can even put custom GIF profiles on there. So yeah guys, that is the MSI GODLIKE motherboard. Stepping down a bit, we have the MSI MEG Z390 ACE. Now this is their mid-tier board and it doesn't quite offer all the bells and whistles like the GODLIKE, but it does give you all the necessary features to still build an epic high-end PC. Instead of a 16 power phase design, you guys get only 12, but you still get the 2 8-pin EPC power connector for overclocking, and everything else is pretty much the same. Same amount of DIMM slots, you get the same amount of M.2 support. The only thing is you have one less PCI slot coming down from the GODLIKE board. You still get a similar heatsink design with the dragon logo and a neutral gunmetal color scheme and RGB lighting, of course, but you'll start to see less connectivity and features as you move down with each tier. For example, you only get one Frozer shield for your M.2 slot, you get no LCD screen for troubleshooting, and you have no U.2 support down here. Honestly, if you guys ask me, I think that the ACE board offers the most value because you still get most of the features coming from the GODLIKE, and it's like half the cost. Built-in wireless AC, you got great overclocking support, 3 M.2 slots, 2 USB 3 headers, which one of them is moved to the bottom. I don't know why, and personally I'm not a fan of that, but whatever. And for RGB lighting, unfortunately, it's only the infinity mirror on this side. The dragon logo doesn't light up like it does on the GODLIKE. And oh, and you still get the pre-installed I/O shield. So yeah, for the money, I feel like this is a well-rounded, balanced motherboard that gives you pretty much whatever you need to build a solid gaming PC. And finally, we got the Gaming Edge AC, which is targeted for the mainstream gamers out there. It costs a little under $200 and offers all the essential features for any gaming PC. You get a 5 power phase delivery with an 8+ 2-pin EPC power for the CPU, which is good enough to get a nice overclock with a decent cooler. Just don't expect any world records. You still get 4 DIMM slots, support for 2 M.2 SSDs, and 3 PCI slots. But you only get 1 USB 3 header and 1 USB Type-C for the front panel of the case. However, you do have an extra USB Type-C in the rear I/O. Speaking of the rear I/O, this board also comes with a built-in wireless AC. I mean, it doesn't look as good as the other boards and it doesn't have much RGB lighting just on the side of the board, but it will get the job done and it will save you money in the process. This is pretty much for the average everyday gamer. So to recap, gamers who are on a budget looking for a solid motherboard for gaming that aren't looking for anything extra or over the top, then the Gaming Edge AC is what you're looking for. Now, people who have a slightly higher budget and are looking to do a high-end build, maybe they're doing SLI or Crossfire, maybe even a water-cooled build, and they want extra features and extra ports and slots and connectivity and all that jazz, then the Z390 ACE should be on your list. And finally, the ballers out there who don't care about the money, just want the best of the best out there, no matter the cost, well, you already know. Last but not least, let's take a look at the MSI DUKE RTX 2080 Ti. And also guys, let me know in the comment section which motherboard I should use and pair it with the 2080 Ti for my next build. Comment down below. Let's pop this baby open and take a look. This is actually the first RTX 2080 card I've unboxed on the channel, now that I think about it. Beautiful. Yeah, this is pretty heavy, which makes sense why there's a GPU sag tool that comes with this card. It's not a bad looking card, to be honest. Triple fan design. You got two 8-pin PCI connectors for power delivery. It also looks like it's a 2.5 PCI slot card, so it's gonna take up some space on the motherboard. I can't really talk much about performance or cooling since I just got the card, obviously. This is the overclock version, which means it comes out of the box overclocked at 1665 megahertz for the boost compared to 1635 megahertz from the regular one. That's interesting. That's only like a 30 megahertz offset on the clock speed. Why would anyone pay extra money for an overclock version when they can do that so easily using MSI Afterburner? But anyways, I digress. That pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, or if it was at all somewhat helpful on deciding on what motherboard you guys should pick up for your next build. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, make sure to leave a like, then I can continue to do more of these. And also let me know which motherboard I should use in my upcoming build in the comment section. I love your faces, as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll drop a link to all the parts featured in this video down below, of course, as always. And I'll see you in the next one.